Greetings, peace, and love, Sister Alexis of Divine Notary and the Notary Wellness Mentor. A couple of weeks ago, I did a video about joining signing agencies, and I told you all about a call that I received. It was from a law firm wanting me to go take pictures of their client who was suing because she had permanent hair loss after chemo. I told you that I would update you, and I actually did an update video, and it wouldn't load, and it just was a hot mess, so I didn't load it. I didn't upload it. But I'm doing another video about it, and I want to talk to you about some things that happened during that appointment. Well, the appointment was very, it had all the particulars in there. Like, I was supposed to take pictures of all sides of the scalp. And if I could get before pictures, I was to collect before pictures of the client as well. When I got there, it was, you know, if anyone has ever been on the Eastern Shore, or sometimes it could be anywhere, you don't have to be on the Eastern Shore, like the houses are numbered well, and it was during the daytime, so it was fine. But so it was like one of these driveways where you ride in, and then there's a couple of houses, and none of the houses were numbered. So it looked really sketchy. You know how some people are like, oh, I'm afraid to go in the hood? Well, this was like really rural. And it was kind of beaten up area. It didn't look too safe for somebody like me. Confederate flags just waving in the air everywhere you went. And as I was driving, I always carry mace, but as I was driving, I was like, ugh, maybe I need to carry something stronger than mace. And yes, if I feel unsafe, I won't go to an appointment, but I have what do you call it? Things that alert me when there's something wrong. So it's a head energy that I will receive, and this might sound weird to some of you all, and that's okay, but I have a head energy that I receive, right? So I will get a signal in my head that will tell me something that's more of like a psychological thing. But the things that I feel in my gut energy is usually like, don't do it. So I didn't get a gut energy. I didn't feel weird. I didn't have butterflies or anything like that. So I knew it was okay appointment. But I was aware that something was going to be a little off because I started to think about other things that I should carry with me that would be stronger than mace. And so that led me to believe that I could be running into something, but not something life-threatening. So if you ever feel weird about something, cancel the appointment, and you don't have to give them an explanation of why. Because if you tell them, oh, I have gut energy, like, they'd be like, what? Maybe you got, like, need a probiotic. So you can't say that. But I knew something was up. So as I get in and I'm like, gosh, all right, it's one of these. I'm not really sure which direction I'm supposed to go. I do see their name on the mailbox, but the mailbox is at the beginning of the driveway, and then there's two other houses back there, and it's just like on this, and further back is like this big farmland and chicken farm. And so I said, well, I'm just gonna stop at the first house. So I parked my car. I got my mace in my blazer pocket, and I have my bag in my other hand. And so I switched, and I put my hand in my in my pocket where my mace is, and I kind of hold it in my hand. It's not a super big one. Hold it, and I got big hands too. Anyway, so I hold it in my hand, and then I knock on the door, and then of course I hear a dog, and then I look at the dog, and I'm like, this dog is like really aggressive. He's meant to be a guard dog. And as I'm walking up the steps, it's all sand. And I have my like platform sandals on. And it was just a hot mess. And it was shoes outside and debris and like a children's pool that was, it just looked like something out of like Beverly Hillbillies. And I knock on the door and I ask for the client, and they say, she's not here. You have the wrong house. And besides, she's dead. She died a year ago. And I was like, huh? And I was like, well, that's why she never returned my phone call. And he's like, yeah. And they live over there, and he's not home because he's at the tax office. And I was just like, okay, well, thank you. And they were like, well, you have something that, you can give me so I can tell them that you're here. And I said, no, because I don't give my personal cards out. I was hired through a particular company. They don't need to call me. And it tends to be a conflict of interest if you give them your card when the signing agent company has hired you. So I was like, no, it's okay. I'll just give them a call. And so I got in my car and drove closer to their house. And I began to take pictures. And he screams to me, what are you doing over there? Why are you taking pictures of the house? And he starts coming closer to me. And I'm just like, okay, this is about to get real. So I was really calm. I wasn't afraid at all. I'm a warrior spirit. And I grew up with a whole bunch of brothers, and I always had male energy around me, always was like tussling and fighting. So it takes a lot to scare me. Like, I'm not one of those women who are like scared of bugs or anything like that. It takes a lot to scare me. And so I just say to him, in order for me to get paid, I need to have proof that I was here. And that is true. You will deal with that sometimes, where if you go to a house and you say that they're not home, they need proof that you went there. So they need you to take a picture of the house, and they need you to take a picture of the street sign as well as the mailbox. So I told him, in order for me to get paid, actually I didn't say that. I said, I need proof that I was there. And he said, okay, and he kind of backed up, but he watched me the whole time. So I did it quickly, and then I was just out of there. So that was the situation. And so afterwards, I talked to my mom. My mom and I were kind of like in it together, and I told her what I was going through, and she, we just kind of had some stories, exchange stories of situations where we did feel a little bit uncomfortable in people's houses, where you're the only black person that has ever been to their house. And when you go inside, there's Confederate flags and things of that nature, and some of them, you can tell they don't want you in there. They're not very chatty. They don't want to talk to you at all. They just want to sign and want you to go. And I have no problem with that. I want to sign and I want to go. But this was a situation where I told myself maybe I need like a collapsible baton, because what if that dog got out of hand? Like, yes, I could have sprayed the dog, but you probably would have needed something a little bit more stronger and powerful. And so it's something to think about. And sometimes people say, well, why are you in a position where you have to worry about your safety? You have to worry about your safety in any job. It's just, yes, you will experience more high risk jobs through what we're doing. My mother last week actually also ran into a client, or was at a client's house, and that client asked her if she's ever in any situations where she feels uncomfortable and needs to possibly protect herself. And my mother's from the South Bronx, so it's also hard to scare her. And she told him no, but there were situations, and she gives him a couple of stories. And he said the reason why he asked is because he deals with self-defense. He teaches women in particular self-defense classes. And he suggested, that she take one. And so that's my suggestion to you all too. If you are in this field, to have things that you could protect yourself with, like a mace, a collapsible baton, maybe a little small horn or something like that. You alert your friends and families. When I go out, I usually send my location out to my children. And if you're married, send it to your spouse naturally, or whoever you feel like you need them to know where you are. And because I live in the backwoods, it really is important. Sometimes once it gets dark, especially in the winter, I don't really do too many nighttime appointments because you can't see the addresses. And GPS, she be acting funny sometimes. So you can't always depend on her. And it's just not a good place to be getting lost at night. So you want to consider these things when you are in this field. And it should be fine. I'm not really, like I said, I'm not really a person that tends to be scary or skittish or anything like that. So if I did feel like I was in danger, I wouldn't take the appointment. You know, $150 is just not worth it. And just so you know what ended up happening, I did alert the company that the client died, transition, I like to say, and that I was sending them the photos of the place. And matter of fact, I just got paid for that job today, and that was 3 weeks ago. And that was it. It was perfectly fine. Everything was fine. And yeah, so I was sad to hear that she did have chemo and she still ended up, you know, transitioning, and her husband did not want to continue with the settlement. But I guess he didn't have the energy to talk to the lawyer's office, because she had been transitioned for like a year. And I'm like, why would y'all send me out there and you haven't had any contact with her for a year? So they had me contact her, and I said, I didn't get any contact. And they said, go anyway. You know, we'll still pay you for it. Go anyway. So that's how that worked out. All right, y'all. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any interesting stories, put them in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, share. And if you are in need of mentoring, book an appointment as soon as you can. We are in our peak season. My information is in the description box. Talk to you soon. Peace.